Welcome, College of Sequoia's Intercultural Communications class. This is Team 5's presentation.
Hello classmates, my name is Aiden Scott and today I will be presenting Europe with you guys and with my peers, which are Karina Cortez, Alejandra Correa, Anthony Carmona, and Timothy Broughton. So I will be going over Sweden, Anthony will be going over Italy, Karina will be going over France, Alejandra will be going over Netherlands, and Timothy will be going over Wales. There's a lot to Europe that we could talk about, such as their cultural history, monuments, politics, major events, food, language, landscapes, and overall what makes Europe so special. I had actually wanted to visit Europe last spring, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the government shut down all flights to and from Europe, so I could not get the chance to go. But if I did want to go, I'd definitely go to Sweden this time. Last time it was going to be about UK UK and France. Some facts about Europe are the continent consists of 44 countries. 15 of those countries were former Soviet countries. English is the most spoken language, followed by German, French, Italian, and Spanish. The most populous country in Europe is Russia, followed by Germany, UK, and France. The population of Europe is 741 million, which is almost 3 times as much as the United States of America. Europe is the most visited country in the world, with just over half of the world's tourists. And now I'm going to go ahead and start on Sweden.
Of our virtual vacation of Europe. We'll be starting off with Aiden in Sweden.
All right, classmates, here we are with Sweden. As you can see, we have the Swedish flags here. We have some of the landscape. And here you can see some buildings in one of their cities. Sweden is considered one of the top 10 happiest nations in the world. They have a very unique cultural background. It is definitely a place worth visiting. It's a place I plan to visit. They have a very great climate based on its geographic location of being far north. The people are considered very friendly and happy, and the government provides a lot of benefits to its citizens. So where is Sweden? It is in the northern region of Europe between Finland and Norway, and just right above the peninsula nation of Denmark. Their climate is, of course, going to be colder because it is in the north. However, it is still fairly mild given the Gulf Stream coming from the Atlantic Ocean. And you can see it goes into Ireland, Great Britain, Denmark, Norway, and especially Iceland, which makes them warmer than, say, if it was in a different area that didn't have that kind of stream. Like Alaska, Sweden has very long summers with no sunset, as well as long, dark winters. Here's a size comparison of Sweden compared to the United States. It stretches from about Toronto, Canada, all the way down to as south as Pensacola, Florida, which is pretty large for a country of just 10 million citizens, and the United States has around 330 million as of now. About 17% of all of Sweden's land is consisted of sweet Swedish blueberry bushes, and about 97% of their land is uninhabited, and they have roughly 100,000 lakes. And here is Sweden on the world map. You can see that they're pretty far north. They're about as north as Alaska, and they stretch higher than Iceland and into the Greenland level. And so, yeah, it's quite a very northern country. The people in Sweden, like I said, they're one of the 10 happiest nations in the world, according to the World Happiness Reports each year. Usually, I don't think they really go above the top 10, maybe on a rare occasion. The Swedes are known to be very humble, friendly, and welcoming. Hierarchy is less of a thing in Sweden. People are more on an equal level of respect. It is a custom, and here's kind of random, it is a custom to take off one's shoes when they enter a home. Here in the United States, we kind of just walk around in our shoes, but there it's more of a custom because of their weather being pretty sometimes extreme, and especially during the winters. The work-life balance is amazing. They get a minimum of 25 days of paid vacation a year. The average hours Swedes reportedly work per week is about 30 to 35, which is pretty low. And the population of Sweden is about 10.2 million. One of their most famous dishes are their Swedish meatballs, which they often combine with other kinds of foods. In this picture, you can see mashed potatoes and some gravy over it. It looks really good. Some monuments and attractions of Sweden. The Vasa Museum consists of one of the oldest ships in the world on display. The Royal Palace in Stockholm, you can see on the bottom right corner of the slide. And then you can also see the Drottningholm Palace, which is not in Stockholm. It is on, I believe, an island where some of their royal family residents either live or visit. And then, of course, I don't have the picture on here, only a part of it, but Stockholm is the capital city of Sweden. Some historical events in Sweden were the Viking Age, which began in the year 800. Sweden was founded in 1397. Sweden joined the United Nations in 1946. IKEA furniture was founded in Sweden in 1943. Sweden joined the European Union in 1995. I don't know why I put 1195. So government and lifestyle, what kind of benefits do they get? Well, they have equal access to public health care, housing allowance for people who are unable to afford housing, benefits to stay home from work to take care of their child for up to 480 days per child, no tuition fees for public colleges for all of European Union citizens, and many students don't need a job. However, room and board, books, those things do cost, but you can get grants and loans for those. The tax rate is one of the highest in the world, reaching up to about half, higher than half. I think it depends on your income, but the majority of the people in Sweden are okay with it, knowing that people are not going to be left behind, and it's doing them a good favor. Overall, Sweden is a very beautiful country with long summers that the citizens say is worth the dark winters. The Swedish government is very prosperous, which can explain the good work-life balance and happiness the citizens have. There is a big cost to having one of the highest qualities of life. However, many people consider it necessary. And now we'll proceed on to the next slide, which is Italy by Anthony Carmona.
Then we'll be moving to Italy with Anthony.
Hello class, my name is Anthony Carmona, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Italy. I'm here today with the Europe group. So Italy's flag was inspired by France's flag. The color scheme of Italy's flag is red, white, and green, but the scheme of the flag, like it's divided into 3 different colors, was inspired by France's flag. Italy is also the 4th most populous state in Europe. Some of the most famous things Italy is known for, obviously, is pizza. Not only is pizza famous in Italy, it's famous in multiple, countries. Over here, it's obviously famous. Everybody loves to eat pizza in America. I love pizza. Another thing they're famous for is pasta, like spaghetti, and things like that. And they're also famous for creating wine, and they're also famous for fashion. Gucci is actually created in Italy. Some of the places that you could visit in Italy are Rome, which has the Colosseum and iconic art and just thousands of fountains that you could just see around. It's a beautiful place to visit. Venice, which has the Canal Carnival where you could go rowing, or you could go, just be relaxing in the nice canals. And it also has San Marco Square, which is a shopping center over there. Florence is another great place. It's known for its Renaissance art. And moving on, Milan is another place people like to visit, and that is where the famous painting The Last Supper was, where it took place. Sorry. Italians' lifestyle, they are taught to appreciate family, slow down and stop rushing, so just take in the moment. I feel like a lot of people should do that more often. They are also taught to take long lunches and eat light dinners before they go to sleep. They drink most of the time only with a meal or with their friends. They don't really just drink, like Americans drink beer more often. They like to drink wine more over there. They are also taught to embrace people. So, just hug someone. They're a little bit more friendly, I think, maybe than Americans. And they're also taught to love where you live, which is obviously something easy to do in Italy because it's such a beautiful place. So for Italian families, among the most popular things to do in Italy is pretty much kind of the same things that we do over here in America, is watch TV, listen to the radio, read newspapers, go to the movies, stuff like that. So it's pretty much the same thing as over here, go shopping. The cost of living in Italy in US dollars, on average, monthly rent for a 900 square foot apartment is going to run you around $1,079, which honestly is not that bad. For a 480 square foot apartment, which is like half the size kind of around of what I just said, the 900 square, it's going to run you around $732 per month. So it's not that expensive. People think it's expensive to live in Italy, and you just gotta, I guess it just depends on the area. It's the same thing as over here in America. It just all depends on the area where you go to look. But overall, Italy's a great place, and I'd love to visit. Thank you.
Karina will tell us about France.
My name is Karina Cortez, and I am reporting from France. I want to talk about the Chartres in France. It is best known for its River Uri, through its commercial century, or around its beautiful cathedral, and it is also known as the Gothic Cathedral. And this place is a 1-hour day trip visited by many. Such a beautiful place to visit if you're planning to go with your couple, or just as with your mom, dad, brothers and sisters. You're going to be very well pleased with the outlook of this place. There's water around, there's bridges you can go walking, and there's just a lot to see. And I am going to show you a picture of the Gothic Cathedral. Now that we have left the Grace Canes, I am going to talk to you guys about the Louvre Museum. It's the world's largest art museum and a historic monument in Paris, France. It holds many of Western civilization's most famous masterpieces, including the Mona Lisa. So if you guys are looking for a great museum, that's going to bring you guys a lot of historic monuments like the Mona Lisa and like just Western civilizations, that is a perfect place of a museum for you guys to visit. And I am going to show you guys what the museum looks like and other pictures of masterpieces that are inside the museum. I want to conclude with saying thank you all for listening, and thank you all for taking this trip with me and learning a little bit more about France, that there is a lot to France than we actually hear. If you are planning to take your next trip, I recommend you go there. So now I want to give the place to Alejandra, which will be talking about the Netherlands. Thank you.
Then we'll be going off to the Netherlands with Alejandra.
I'm Korea, and today we're going to be traveling to the Netherlands. The Netherlands is in northwestern Europe. It is known for the landscape with canals, tulip fields, windmills, and cycling routes. Their main language is Dutch, and their main religion is Roman Catholic, and Amsterdam is the capital of the Netherlands. Their economy and system. The Netherlands is a highly industrialized country. It is the 8th highest exporter of products in the world, specializing in the export of petroleum and computers. They're very rich in agricultural as well, earning 65 billion euros worth of vegetables, fruit, flowers, meat, and dairy products, exporting them each year. They are a member of the EU, which is the European Union. It promotes peace, it values and its values and its well-being of its citizens. They offer freedom, security, and justice without internal borders. Some of the cultural values in the Netherlands is most people are modern and modest and tolerant, independent, self-reliant, and entrepreneurs as they value education, hard work, and ambition. Dutch is the official language, but Frisian comes in second. Only 2.2% speaking Frisian. The Dutch are very rich in art, and they're very involved in international affairs. And something I found very interesting was that in the Netherlands, they shake hands with everyone when leaving and arriving. So like everyone, it is very odd if you don't shake hands with someone when there, because it is just something they do there. When I said they were rich in art, they had Vincent van Gogh, which was very famous for Starry Night, which is right there, and many other paintings. He was considered one of the greatest Dutch painters, but he suffered a lot from his mental health and physical state. He struggled a lot, but he spent most of his life painting, sketching, and preaching the word of God. And although Anne Frank was not born in the Netherlands, she spent her life, the rest of her life there, because she was hiding from Hitler and the World War II situation. Her parents decided to move to Amsterdam. Some places you can visit in Amsterdam is this museum. It has a bunch of the Dutch masterworks of the Golden Age. And then the second place is the Canal Tour. This is very famous. I hear about it all the time. Just going on a boat and just traveling the city or the area. The Anne Frank Museum, which was actually the place she was hiding at for 2 years, and it's now a museum where you can see how she lived and the story behind that. And the Van Gogh Museum, which has a lot of his work and is right next to the first museum. Amsterdam has been the official capital of the Netherlands since 1983. These are the 3 most important canals, which were created in the 17th century during the Dutch Golden Age. If you want to have an apartment in Amsterdam, the living cost is about 1,697 euros. And something interesting I found out about Amsterdam was, if you pass away and you don't have any family, friends, or anyone, if you're literally alone, then a poet will write a poem and recite it at your funeral. And I thought that was pretty interesting because at least you have a poem, you know? But that concludes my presentation on the Netherlands. And I will be passing it on to Timothy in the UK and in Wales. Thank you.
And finally, we'll be concluding with Timothy in the United Kingdom. Thank you, Alejandra. My name is Timothy Broughton, and I'll be bringing to the UK. This is the United Kingdom's flag. They are a monarchy with a king or queen, and Queen Elizabeth is the current queen. She resides at Buckingham Palace. The UK is made up of Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, and England. They're very traditional people. They've done things the same way for a very long time. They have some beautiful sights to see, such as Stonehenge and Big Ben that you would see. They also have some beautiful churches, even though about 10% of the population, only about 10% go to church regularly. They have some beautiful beaches. However, because of the winter, it's only light for about 6 hours a day, and it's very cool. It's a cool area. They have some beautiful educational facilities, some of the world-renowned best, such as the University of Oxford and the musical university there. When you're in England, you want to, if you're using public transportation, if you see someone older or someone in need, you want to give up your seat to them. It's seen as a must-do, and if you don't, you'll be scorned for it. As you travel the different countryside, you can see many of the castles within the country. They have a lot of older castles. But when you're in the city, say you're on an escalator, notice everybody went to the right. That's because the people that are moving faster go to the left. Also, it's not uncommon to see someone come up and give you a kiss on the cheek rather than a handshake. A handshake is seen as being very masculine, and for the most part, it's not used as much. Now, even though they have the older castles, still modern cities within the country reside. And standing in line is something that they do often, and you don't cut in line. It's seen as very taboo. They drink tea, approximately 165 million cups of it a day. However, it's not uncommon to get off work and go to your local pub or a pub garden and regularly just hang out and visit with the local people. That's how they communicate. They have a lot of smaller villages and towns, and there's just a lot to see all throughout the UK. I'd like to thank Karina, Alejandra, Alexander, and Aiden for their help in creating the video as we went to France, Sweden, the UK, the Netherlands, and Italy. And we hope that you enjoyed our video. Thank you very much.